Tonight on The Recall, we dive into Sunday's matchup of the Grizzlies against last night's leftovers, a special giveaway, and we spend some quality time with Spirit.
That is really fucking bad. That's so bad.
Hi everyone, welcome to The Recall, your weekly contenders show about the Grizzlies. I am Akuiko. I will be your host for this show, and today I'm going to start by introducing my lovely guest. So I have right here to my left, Miimees. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone.
And Tisane right here. Thank you so much for coming on.
Hi.
So we have a lot of things to cover today. So we're going to start right now. I'm going to explain really quickly how Contenders works this year. So we have a 5-week series on our hands that just started this Sunday. We have 12 teams in total, and they are separated in 2 groups. We have the Group A and the Group B. We will be concentrating on Group A as it is the group in which the Grizzlies are. So as you can see on screen here, the other teams that are in their group are last night's leftovers, XL2 Academy, Toronto Esports, Gladiators Legion, and Mayhem Academy. So what we have to see here for the game recap, we will jump right into this. As I said, the team that we fought against on Sunday was last night's leftovers. I think it's a great name. What do you guys think?
It's amazing. It's probably the most original name.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
So we will see here on screen the roster for this team. We have Dummy and Ajax as support, which you guys might know from NRG Esports. Kevster and Reach as DPS. Fried Wiener and Decode as tank. So just to tell you guys, this show is not going to be spoiler free. So if you want to watch the games before watching this, just do it now. But the score itself for the show was 3-1 for LNL, unfortunately. So the Grizzlies were able to get 1 map, and we will be able to start by looking at the first map here. The first map was a control map. We went on Nepal. It was a win for LNL, but we wanted to concentrate on a specific part of this matchup. The first 2 rounds were played on Village and Shrine, and it ended up in a 1-1 tie. So the third map was Sanctrum, and whoever was going to win this map was going to get this the point for the control map here. So, Miimees, there's one thing that I wanted you to touch on. We saw Sombra picked a lot in this series, right? We didn't see it on LNL's side at all. We saw it picked in every single map for the Grizzlies. Now, when we got into Sanctrum, we saw Zepri and Spirit play Sombra before getting there, and then we saw Graceful picking that. And I was wondering what your thoughts were on that third map about the triple DPS comp. What do you think about that?
The triple DPS comp, we try to practice that a lot. Graceful were on Sombra because he's really used to playing any role. He played on a team as a support, played on a team as a DPS, played on a team as a tank. He can play anything. And we know that Spirit main character is Genji, while Zapri main character is Tracer. So we try to put the 2 DPS on their main character and put Graceful as a flex DPS, where he's going to be filling the spot that was empty. But the triple DPS is really the hardest comp to use compared to double tank, double DPS, and double support.
So in your mind then, putting Graceful on Sombra was it was a good idea, but the way that it was executed wasn't properly done.
The way the team comp was used wasn't the most properly way to use it. As a triple DPS, you're going to try to flank as much as you can, go in the back line, go around the enemy team, and try to pretty much find a support, find DPS, find anyone that is going to be split. Because if you try to face, you won't have anything to give you space for your DPS to do anything, because it's the tank jump to make space for the DPS. So if you don't have any tank, you really need to put those support really flanking around, going around the map, trying to find the best pick that they can and finding the back line of the enemy team. On that clip, we can see that the team, the first choice of the team, they tried to engage the tank, while there was one Sombra flanking on the enemy backline, but it wasn't enough. The soldier was able to pull off his ult without being pressured in the backline and was able to pretty much wipe our team, because the DPS wasn't looking for him. Like, he got killed, but it was a bit too late for that to be killed. It needed to be right in the beginning of the fight that the DPS would have been into him into the backline, looking for those that will have been separate from their team.
Yeah, and as we saw here, the soldiers seem to have a lot of free space to work for it for a certain amount of time. As you said, it took a little while before he got picked off, was able to get a good ult, pick a lot of people out. Since, I mean, we have a triple DPS comp, it's a lot easier to kill, right? I mean, a lot less HP to grind down on. And the other point that we wanted to touch on with Isabelle is the Genji that was picked on the side of Spirit. So now we know that Spirit is an amazing Genji player, but it seemed like in that triple DPS comp, it didn't work out as well for him. Did you have some stats or something that you wanted to double check with us?
Yeah, to begin with, it took Genji a minute and 40 to charge his first ult, which is the average time right now amongst the league. But during the time he pulled out his Dragon Blade, the problem is that he only got one pick, which was the enemy Mercy, while she already rezzed the Zenyatta. And on top of that, the pick was not as impactful because the Grizzlies, already pretty much won the fight because they pulled out Tracer's Pulse Bomb, which picked the Zenyatta that Mercy rest, and Sombra picked out the soldier running away. So at that point, they already won the fight. So the Dragon Blade seemed unnecessary. And then also the average Genji blade kills on that map of Nepal is 2.4. So for him, it was really underwhelming. He only pulled out one Dragon Blade overall, and I feel that on that map, the Genji or maybe another DPS was superfluous because they didn't play the triple DPS comp as well as we would have wanted them to.
And then maybe Miimees, just to double up on that, if you were to have changed one of the DPS here, would you have changed the Genji, the Sombra?
It would have been to go more for a basic dive Diva Winston, because the lack of Diva was really putting a lot of pressure on the team, since if you only have Winston, when they have an Oriza, if you have a Genji, you're just going to spam a shield. You won't be able to do anything. So it's pretty much, for the Genji, he's going to be playing really patient, while the Sombra and the Tracer is going to try to find a pick and make an opportunity for our Winston and our Genji to jump into their backline.
Excellent. So we are going to jump right now on our second map here, which was our hybrid map. We went into Numbani. It was the Grizzlies pick because they lost the map before, so loser picks the next map. So we have a clip here rolling about the dive for LNL. So technically, we saw here Spirit playing the McCree. McCree is a hero that whenever he's picked, you want to go in and dive in, right, Miimees? So did you want to tell me about the clip that we just saw now?
Yes, about this clip more particularly, we saw that the soldier right in the beginning of the fight got picked. The LNL lost the advantage of the fight. They still tried to engage in with the Winston in the nano boost. They really wanted to win that fight. But the MP of Zaprid that just completely denied their wall dive made Grizzly team win completely the fight really, really easily without letting the enemy team getting a lot of damage out. So they were able to build a lot of ult out of one EMP. And after that, for the rest of the map, the next fight on street phase and the next fight on the third phase, they were really having a big advantage on their ult economy. So they were able to push the whole map easily because of that.
So in your opinion there, since we saw that Soldier got picked off early on, if that were your team, would you have said, okay, everyone back off and we go later on? You would have committed as much as LNL did?
Yeah, there was two possibilities at that point. It was either, like you said, everybody back off, we just wait for the soldier and we do another fight 6v6, or we engage straight away and we try our best to, if we don't win this fight, they're only going to have one more fight in street phase. And if it wasn't a fight there, they will only have had one fight for the whole street phase. So I'm pretty sure they tried to push in sort of fight there to be able to do another fight on the street phase.
And if I didn't already mention, so on this map, the Grizzlies won in a very fast and dominant fashion. Isabelle is going to tell us more about that, because one thing that really led them to getting that easy win, if I could say, or easier win, was the fact that the team was using their ultimates very aggressively on both the offense and the defense. We're going to be rolling a clip here, Isabelle, if you want to tell me about Zipper using his ult here aggressively on Sombra.
Okay, so what we can see is that Sombra used her EMP on defense to really attack the other team. They don't wait for the payload to come through that door, to go through the arc. They just push in, they jump in, and they dictate when the fight starts. And they are the one really leading that whole engagement fight. So that's the big difference between the Grizzlies defense versus LNL's, because that's what allowed the Grizzlies to take the point, take the third point and win that match. Because to compare the defense between Grizzlies and LNL's, we can see that LNL's was much more defensive, like passive. They were waiting for the cart to come through the door. They didn't jump in right away to really stop the payload from going forward, and they really waited for the whole team to arrive at that door before jumping in, and that made the difference, because they were not perfectly in control, because
they were playing reactively, so to say, right? They were waiting to be getting attacked by the Grizzlies and then trying to chew off more than they could bite.
Yeah, exactly. And also we could see that despite having used Primal Rage and Sound Barrier, it wasn't enough to stop the Grizzly, because they were ready, and they started off with a hack, with the Sombra hack on the Genji, and eliminated a threat right away. So
there's also a second clip that we're gonna roll here about now the Grizzlies on their attack, playing aggressively again. As you said, we are going to see the Sombra hacking the Genji right straight off from the fight. Was there anything else you wanted to add to that?
No, not much, except that we can really see that they only they are waiting for the team to arrive with the fight instead of initiating the fight. And that made a difference, because on the Grizzly side, they were really ready and waiting for that fight to come. And the McCree, he took a little step back, he waited, used his ultimate, landed a kill on the Zenyatta, and that really changed the pace.
And here we get to see, this is a great highlight clip from Spirit as well, playing the McCree. Before we jump into our third map, was there anything you wanted to add to this one?
Not much.
I think this one was pretty good. So we're gonna then jump right into our third map, which was then NLNL's pick. It was an assault map. It was Horizon that they picked. First off, we're gonna say that this one was a bit harder to watch. The map was cleared on attack by LNL in 2 minutes 25 seconds. On if we compare to the Grizzlies, 8 minutes and 4 seconds. So it was a win for LNL. One thing that we really wanted to focus on here, Isabelle, was the fact that it seemed like on this map, if it wasn't Zapri going in with his Sombra ult, nothing was happening. So we'll start rolling a clip for this, and Isabelle, I just want you to follow up on that.
Okay, so here we can see a really nice push from the Sombra initiating that fight. She EMPs, and then we can see the Diva and the rest of the team just jump in and devour the other team to cap the point. However, this took at least 2 minutes for her to build the EMP, and while during that time they didn't do much, they were just trickling in, trying to build that up, and they were not as aggressive as we could have seen on the last map.
Because this play was great. Now we're just going to roll a second clip here. It's another Zapri ult going in as Sombra, but this one is just not working as well, right?
Yeah, the positioning of Zapri on that ult was a bit too focused on the Zenyatta, maybe, because the EMP itself didn't have much impact except from preventing the Zenyatta from ulting. So maybe he could have taken another approach, going around hacking the Zenyatta to get the kill, to ensure that kill. But that's another waste of 2 minutes, because Zapri takes about 2 minutes to build each EMP, which is quite above the average right now. In the leagues.
And I mean, speaking of improvements, that's something that Miimees is really good on, knowing that, I mean, he's the coach for the Grizzlies, our Academy and Contenders team here. If you could tell me something that you'd like to see improve on that map, something that you want to see differently, what would it be?
On TCP particularly is deciding to keep your ult, trying to win the ult economy advantage, and is really working on having that ult advantage to be able to clean wipe the enemy team without losing too much too much player.
And
'Cause
you clipped, sorry, I'll let you go right after. You clipped something for us. You were going to roll another clip if you want to talk about that on this play.
this clip resume a bit every fight Grizzly tried to did. They tried to every time they were seeing an opportunity to win a fight, they were trying their best and using their ult economy and any ult they could to win that fight. At that point, they saw Sombra got a pick on Zenyatta really in the beginning, so because of that, Oreza and Junkrat popped their ult straight away at the same time to switch character. But since they use their ult first on a 2CP when they're on defense, as an attacker, you're going to try to either fall back, keep your ult, and come back the next fight with 4 ult when they're going to have only 2 ult in their bank. But our team, every fight, they saw the possibility. There was an option. They tried to push further to that. Every fight, they tried to see that little possibility of winning the fight. They went for it, but they always lost by a little bit. On this fight too, at the end, we see our Zenyatta getting picked, and that was really what changed the whole fight. They could have won that fight easily, only if the Zenyatta would have survived. Just a little detail will have changed everything.
And since we know that on this new patch, the Sombra ult really does not charge as quickly, right? Because you can't use those health pack hacks to gain ult charge. So very quickly, Isabelle, can you tell me what the stats are on that? So what it was before, what it is now?
Yeah, the quickest time to build the EMP before was about 30 to 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Right now, the average stands at above a minute, and that is like double the time.
Yeah.
And during that time, if you're not trying anything, you're doing nothing, and you're just wasting time to cap the points. And then also, we could just go back to Zepri's time to charge his ult, which is even long. It takes even longer, so that was
because
problematic.
while he's not initiating, they're
exactly.
fighting a lot less, right?
Exactly, and that made the difference between the 2 minutes cap or the 6 minute one. Yeah.
And we're going to cut into our last map here of Sunday's games, which is Dorado. It was an escort map, and since the Grizzlies had lost the game before, then it was their pick. I mean, if you watch the game, you know what we're going to talk about, right? We're going to talk about the Widowmakers here. So we are going to roll some clips of Reach playing the Widow here. You can see some very, very good plays. Isabelle, I want to know more stats about this guy and about Spirit. Can you tell me more?
Okay, so I'm gonna start with Spirit's Widowmaker. He pulled it on defense and attack. However, he only got 3 final blows on defense, and they were not even really impactful kills. He got the Zenyatta once, which probably helps because taking out the support is probably your main goal as a Widowmaker. And yeah, and on attack, he only got a Tracer, which did not, once again, not have much of an impact. But on the opposite side, you have LNL's Widowmaker, who was on a roll. He was completely running over the Grizzlies, and he landed by himself 11 final blows, and within those, 4 of them were Widow kills. So he directly countered Spirit's Widow. So at this time, when we see the payoff for LNL, they had much less investment on the Widow because they didn't have a support pocketing the Widow, they didn't have the tanks shielding her, but for the Grizzlies, Spirit had everything on his side and still was not able to make the impact on the game that Reach's Widow had. So.
With a lot less support in that case. And then we saw Spirit switch to Gedja at some point, and then he started making things happen. You can see he's so comfortable on that hero, sorry. So we're gonna roll a clip, and Miimees, I want you to tell me about that.
All right. First of all, Spirit pretty much started with Widow. He tried to battle the enemy Widow 2 times. He died 2 times, so he just decided to switch Genji. That was the right choice. Switching Genji, he had a lot of handpipe. You can see in the kill feed, he's doing 1 kill after another, and he's not stopping. And that made the team pretty much get the first point really easily, really quickly. But afterward, he will switch it back to Widow for the street phase, because Widow on the street phase is really strong, and the team has been used to practice the Widow on the street phase, so they were keeping the plan on. But even in street phase, he was still losing to reach the LNL Widow. He died 2 times. I don't know if he tried to switch off. I think they tried to force the Widow and keep going with the Widow. it paid off. They were able to take the street phase, but had really an hard time to fight off the enemy Widow, even if they were putting a lot of resources on their Widow.
Thank you guys so much for the insight on the games. Don't go anywhere. We still have some more stuff planned for you guys tonight. What is going to happen now? We heard a lot about Spirit, right? I had the chance to do a challenge with them recently. You guys are going to be able to watch that. So we have a segment here at the Recall that is going to be called Overtime with the Grizzlies. So you might be wondering what that segment is going to be. Every single week, I'm going to face off against one of the players of the Overwatch Contenders Grizzlies roster. It's a 1v1. Of course, it's not Overwatch because that would be completely unfair for me. Knowing my elo, I'm not going to mention it here. So you are going to watch a clip of that. And just before we do that, we have a giveaway for you guys. Super, super cool. You can win a $50 Steam card. So we have 2 of them up for grabs. I will explain how you can win them. So it's very simple. All you have to do is keep watching. We're going to roll the clip very soon of me doing the challenge with spirits. How you can win is I'm going to ask you guys 2 questions just before we cue the clip. And you have to enter the answer in the chat with exclamation point, raffle, space, your answer. You'll be able to just see it down there how to do that. So I will just mention the 2 questions. It's information that will be given in the video. So question number 1 is, for how many years did Spirit play Team Fortress 2 before getting into Overwatch? And question 2, what card game inspired Spirit's gamer tag? So when you hear that coming in, exclamation point, raffle, space with the answer, and then every right answer gives you an entry into the draw. So we will pick the winners at the end of the show today, and we will cue the clip for now. Whoops. That was the right clip. We are going to do that again. Oh, hey, what was that? So we'll try that again. Hi everyone, this is Akuiko, and today we are going into overtime with none other than Spirit. Now, he is aware that I have an activity planned for him, but he doesn't know exactly what we are doing. Not gonna lie, I'm a bit scared about this challenge, but I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. So while we wait for him to get here, tune in and watch this short video to get a little bit more background information on him. Adam Wills is the flex DPS player for the Grizzlies, our Montreal-based Overwatch Contenders teams, but most of you know him as Spirit. He was born and raised in Augusta, Georgia, and played Team Fortress 2 for 7 years before starting Overwatch. He's currently 18 years old and had 2 accounts in the top 60 on the NA ladder in Season 8. Thank you so much, Adam, for being here. Do you have an idea of the activity we're going to be doing today together?
No, not at all. I have no idea what we're doing.
Okay, so I will just quote you about something you said when we talked 2 days ago.
Okay.
When I asked if you were okay with doing an activity, you said you wanted it to be a surprise. And you said, quote unquote, I'm down with anything, even eating weird stuff.
Okay, I did say that. That is something that
Okay.
I said.
Do you want to back down from that statement?
No? No?
Okay, so we are playing the Bean Boozled Challenge. Alright, so I'm just going to explain this a little bit. The Bean Boozled Challenge, as you might know, is a game in which you have 2 beans that look exactly the same, but there's 2 different flavors. How we win is we get a point every time we're able to actually swallow a candy. Do you have any questions?
No?
Okay, let's get this started.
All right.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
1, 1, 2, 3, go.
I get this one note.
Yeah, me too. Oh. Can you do it? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll do it. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, I got mine too.
Okay. So we're tied 1 each. 1, 2, 3, go.
Yeah, I also got rotten egg.
Oh no. I can't do it. Are you eating it?
Yeah. It's not very good,
It's bad.
but it was okay.
Oh god.
I'm gonna need water after that one though.
Oh,
that was
God.
bad.
Oh, I can't believe you downed that. This one is also apparently one of the worst.
1, 2, 3. I got peach.
I think so too. Oh no! Oh no, I didn't.
Wait, I think I got vomit as well. I got vomit as
Oh
well.
God, no.
It tastes like peach at the beginning.
Oh God, it does.
I got
Ew.
real dumb.
It smells.
It is bad. It is bad.
Are you eating it? Okay, guys. I'm getting wrecked.
Okay,
Oh, God.
that was even worse than the rotten egg. That was bad.
Oh.
I feel like I need to brush my teeth now.
Oh God.
Like my mouth actually feels gross.
Oh God. This one is the worst.
Go. I got candy corn. That's good. You got dead fish?
Yeah.
The expression on your face really isn't good. You know, it'd be really easy to just spit it out right now. The taste would be gone.
I can't.
Is it that bad?
Yeah.
Are you gonna be sick?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my god. Ooh, I got the moldy cheese. That's fragrant.
And that, oh yeah. Oh God. I think I'm just gonna eat it so I get an extra point for Team Me, even though it's not. Oh no, I can't. I
That-
lost anyways. I'm not gonna do this.
That is really fucking bad. That's so bad.
Ooh, it smells too. Yeah, this isn't great. That tasted horrible.
Well, I think that was even worse than the vomit.
Oh.
At least the vomit was kind of over when you swallowed. But that lingers even worse.
So as you can see on the screen, I got absolutely destroyed. So Adam, you score a point for Grizzlies.
Objective A captured.
But now, just before I let you go, there's a couple things I wanted to ask you just to get to know you a bit more. When we talked yesterday, you told me that you have over 4,000 hours in Team Fortress 2, right?
Yeah.
I was wondering what got you into this game genre in the first place, and is it the same thing now that got you into Overwatch, or if it's something else?
So it's actually my dad that got me into Team Fortress 2. For my 8th birthday, he bought me the Orange Box, and the Orange Box is a big collection of games, and he got me my own computer.
Wow.
And my dad played it for a couple thousand hours as well with me, so that was like a big part of my childhood.
So are you playing Overwatch with your dad as well?
My dad actually just started playing Overwatch.
Wow, that's so cool. I
Yeah.
wish my parents would game a bit more,
Yeah.
or at all actually. I was also wondering, so to play at the level at which you play, in order to get there, what do you think personally is your biggest strength as a player? Whether it's mechanics or something mentally or at all, what is your biggest strength?
I think my biggest strength is probably my mechanics. Just my ability to move the mouse and shoot people. It's
Yeah.
what I'm good at.
So raw mechanics is your
Yeah.
best thing. And what would you say is something that you like to work on with the Grizzlies?
Definitely want to work on sometimes my attitude. Sometimes I can get into a rut. You know, if
Okay.
things aren't going great.
Yeah.
And I'd like to be able to have a more normal and be able to chill out and say, okay, I can reset and keep going.
What's the story behind Spirit? Why did you pick this gamer tag and not something else?
Okay. So when I originally started playing Team Fortress 2, I was really, like I said, I was like 9 years old when I made my Steam account, and I really liked Yu-Gi-Oh, like the card game.
Yeah.
And my favorite card in Yu-Gi-Oh was Spirit Reaper. Okay. So I used Spirit Reaper up until I started playing Overwatch, and when I played Overwatch, there's a character called
Yeah.
Reaper. And I couldn't keep the Reaper because people just thought like I had my alias before this game came out, but
Yeah.
people didn't know that, so I just dropped the Reaper. I go by Spirit now.
So you did try to get into Overwatch with Spirit Reaper, but
Yes,
then
and
you
then I
got
changed,
comments?
and then I name changed.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. All right. So it's over, guys. Thank you so much, Adam, for coming and doing the challenge and destroying me.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
You're very welcome. I'm glad you had fun. And now for everyone at home, if you want to follow Spirit, you can follow him on Twitch/SpiritOW or on Twitter at SpiritOW_. Now we'll see you guys next week with another challenge. Bye. So that was the overtime segment for this week. So sadly, I lost. I'm very sad about that. I'll be trying to get my revenge on whoever is going to be doing this segment with me next week. So now, speaking of next week, we wanted to touch on together just about the matchup that we'll be having for the Grizzlies next Sunday. So that will be the Mayhem Academy, which is the academy team for the Florida Mayhem, as we know. We are just going to take a quick look at their roster here. So we have ZZA and Mickey A on DPS, Paintbrush and more as support, and Krems and Moopy as flex and tank. While we roll just a small clip here of Mickey A playing on their last round. I mean, they didn't do as well as they probably intended. They ended 1-3, so they lost against the Gladiators Legion. Of course, Gladiators Legion has some big names on their roster. We have the likes of Gods, of Rolf. So we're all expecting this to be a very, very strong team. Since the season just started, we don't have so much information on on the Mayhem Academy. But what I'll mostly focus on just with you guys is what you think the Grizzlies should be working on if they want to get a win against them next week. So the one thing that you'd like to maybe see changed or improved. Mimes first.
One thing that they should look towards for the next match is the map pool they choose. To really choose the map pool they prepare for those map, and they really decide of those map when it's the time to choose for them.
You sound a bit salty there. It sounds like they didn't really do that this week. And maybe Isabelle, what about you? 1 point.
I thought that that Zypress Sombra was really effective and he really had a lot of impact on the team. So maybe just keep on playing her, just him, and maybe unless there's really a big problem, you just Zapri, just keep on playing Sombra. We like it.
So you want to see Zapri on Sombra and
keep
Spirit
on
on McCree, I'd say. He's good
Yeah.
at pocket sanding people. So guys, this is all the time we had for this week. As the show is coming to an end, I really, really, really want to thank you guys for coming on the desk, talking with me. This was really insightful and fun. I really like getting your both your points of view on the games that we saw. So Mimes, I'll just ask you to shout out your Twitter for us, please.
Follow me on Twitter on Mimes, MYMEES.
Awesome. And what about you, Isabelle? Please just shout out your social.
Yeah. So my Twitter is simply Isalai, ISALAI.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You guys know where to follow me and find me. I'm here every single day of my life. No, I'm just joking. I'm not. So this will be everything for us right now. We will catch you guys next week with some more Grizzlies action at the same time. See you next time.
See you.
Bye.
You just gotta keep moving forward.